Okay, welcome to today's class. Um, Ola, is that you?
Yes, I am. Oh.
He
But
says,
it was just a small nap and I slept off.
sorry about that. Good evening.
Good evening. I hope you guys have not gone far.
Nah. Your classmates are currently offline. Some are currently at work, so they'll prefer to watch the video.
Okay.
Yeah. Compliments of the season. How was your celebration?
Yeah, it was great. It's
Okay,
great.
okay. Let's hit fast. We've already lost time. Um, what was the last thing we did?
Yeah, we stopped on port and we looked at the examples. I think you gave the assignment on what's um, the first number on the ports zero and last one are used
Okay,
for. Yeah. So I
okay,
think
okay,
we stopped
okay.
around there.
Okay. So we talked about the IP address numbers and which we said that the first and the last is reserved for specific use, right?
Yes.
So the first we know is reserved for broadcast, and I gave you guys an assignment on the last one. Did you check it out?
Yes. So
What's the
according to
last
what
one?
I checked out, said is reserved for future use.
For what?
Is reserved for future use.
Future use. Are you sure about that? Let's check
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
let's
that's what
check.
that's what I got.
Oh, okay. Let's ask ChatGPT one. So in the the concept of IP address, the first and last address is reserved. The first is used for broadcasting, broadcasting, and the last is used for what? So it says in the concept of IP addressing, the first and the last address in a network are reserved for special purposes. You can see, right?
Yeah.
The first address, that's network address. This address identifies the network itself and is used to represent the entire network in routing and addressing. The last one, broadcasting, is reserved for broadcasting to all devices within the network. Any packet sent to this address is delivered to all the hosts on the network. The first is the network address, and the last is the broadcast address. Okay, so this last, these two are always preserved. So if we have, like I told you, we have 255 in each block. We have 255 in each block. We possibly have 255 in each block, depending on which side the host and the network is taking. Can you remember the side that the network is taking and the one which side the host is taking?
Yeah.
So let's assume that we have
Not very good.
let's assume that we have 192.168 dot. Let me quickly find my IP address, if config, so we could use it. So 190.167.167. So we've seen that these two, or possibly let's say the last one, that is 167, that is supposed to have 255 in it, but it was assigned out of 255, it was assigned 167 for the device, for my Kali machine device. So the first inside it and the last are being kept for this special purpose that we saw now. And we also talked about the ports, which we were amazed to find out that there are how many ports in the network? How many?
About 65,000 plus.
Uh, 65365. If I got that correct. So now with these many ports, you can now understand why security is becoming a little bit, let me say, I wouldn't want to say hard, but insecurity is always on the open. Because
Mm.
when you have a house that has this number of walls, 65,365, is your security is at the mercy of, even if you, okay. So we said that the port is a logical endpoint in a network communication that allows devices to connect to specific services running on a system. And in the concept of cybersecurity and networking, ports are crucial points of communication for devices on a network. Okay.
Okay.
Now, understanding ports and why scanning them almost on a regular basis is important, is very essential for both defending systems and conducting penetrating systems. That reminds me, off topic. Um, when you graduate, when you're done, I will still advise you to look into bug bounty hunting. It's like freelance penetration testing,
Okay.
less demanding than penetration testing in the sense that the rules, much of the rules that guide penetration testing does not apply to bug bounty hunting.
All right.
In bug bounty hunting, you decide what to search for, search for the bugs to search for. But in penetration testing, they give you what to search. You search for the everything. But in
Mm.
bug bounty, you decide what to search for. And when you do that, you get paid for finding bugs. Think today
All right.
in the community, one Al Mahadi something, one guy like that, he got a $5,000 payment from Indeed. He found two bugs in Indeed.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so that's how lucrative and sweet it is. So once you graduate, we'll switch into that. We'll get that into action one time so that from there keep on advancing skills and getting money from sideways. Okay.
All right. All right.
So what are ports? A port is a logical endpoint in a network communication that allows devices to connect to specific services running on a system. See, there are so many services that could be running. That's why we have that number of uh, ports. And meanwhile,
Purchase.
out of that 65,000, like 1,000 of them is well known. Then very few of them uh, are kept or reserved specifically for some purposes. Very few of them, like port 80 is reserved for HTTP.
That's
HTTP,
80, 80.
just port 80, not 8080.
Okay.
Port 80 is reserved for HTTP. Port 443 is reserved for the secured version of HTTP, which is what? Ethernet. What's the result? Yes,
HTTPS.
yes, exactly. So we have port 22 for SSH, that is secure shell. This is for remote access. Then 23, port 23 is reserved for Telnet. Telnet is the unsecure version of remote access. Now, this by default can be this way, but some of them might be tweaked to increase security some systems. For example, if you find out that someone is what's it called targeting your secure shell, okay, for remote access, you could actually change the port,
Mm,
probably give it a random port that nobody could guess.
mm,
You understand? Now, before we end today, we are also going to do a port scanning for both random, or we are going to scan for opened ports. We're going to scan for all the 65,000 ports in
mm.
either the Kali or the phone, any of the devices. So we said that a port is logical endpoint in a network communication that allows devices to connect to specific services running on a system. When two devices communicate over the internet or a local network, they send data to each other using IP addresses. Okay, but for the data to reach the correct application or service on the device, this happens. The communication is directed to a specific port. Explain. What do you understand?
Well, I wasn't seeing your screen or the handout.
Oh, well, fine. I'm sharing the whole screen. Are you seeing the PDF now?
No, it's just the recording screen I'm seeing.
Only this.
Yes,
Why are you seeing that? What about here? What are you seeing here?
I'm seeing Kalik, the red offensive security.
Are you seeing the document now?
No, no, no.
Let me present. Yeah, please, at any time when you stop seeing my hand flowing, to call my attention.
Okay. I was wondering too. I thought the another screen is there. When I check, I didn't see anything again. I think that time that you were checking that recording, I think that was when.
Okay. So what do we have now?
Yeah, I think the PDF file is up.
Okay. You see the Kali?
Yeah, the Kali is loading now. The blue
Okay.
one.
Then our dashboard, our whiteboard.
Yes, the 80, 43 for 22 and 23 is up now.
Yeah. So
The recording
what
is up.
the recording is off.
I think the recording too is up now.
Can you see the screens, all the screens now?
Yeah, I can see all the screens. All the
Okay.
screens.
So we could go ahead, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I was telling you to explain some. We said when two devices communicate over the internet or a local network, they send data to each other using IP addresses. Okay, that's what they uh, uniquely identify them. But for data to reach the correct application or service on that device, the communication is directed to a specific port. What do you understand by this?
So devices communicate over the internet or they send data to each.
So let's take, for example, this is your laptop, right?
Okay.
And you want to search for something. Let's say you want to go to Google, to pass through the internet. Yes, pass through the internet. For you to specifically go to fetch that page,
The data.
Yeah, you are being directed towards the port
Mm,
80 or the 443, depending on which you are on. If you are
mm,
on a secured port or a secured connection, you go through the 443.
mm,
Now, go through there and now be able to get Google and retrieve any information you want to retrieve from them.
mm,
So, likewise, when you, let's say, you want to stream a video and you go through the internet, so going through the internet, you will be passed through port. Um, yeah, the transport layer you're going to use will not be TCP is for connection oriented. It is for data that you need to be accurate. Okay, but for loose data, you go through UDP, datagram protocol. This you could use to stream your YouTube. Most times when you're streaming online, you're not trying to know whether every video is intact, like intact. Your concern is you want to get the video, you want to watch whatever or stream whatever you want
mm,
to press. So when data is to be, or whenever you want to get to a specific application or service on device, it has to go through a specific port. Now, like I told you, some of the rest of the are used interchangeably. For example, Microsoft tools in your phone or your laptop, you might use some to go fetch something. Maybe you want to open what's it called, um, Excel. It
mm.
might use some to do what it wants to do. Then once it's done, it leaves them for another application to use. Are you getting me?
Yes, I'm with you.
So the remaining, we have 65,000 plus 5K plus, and one is like well known. So the remaining ones, that should be around 64,000 plus. They are being used interchangeably with applications, every application. For example, if you want to open your Excel or you want to, Microsoft want to do something on the background, it uses one port. After it's done, it leaves it. When it wants to do that same thing again, it has to use another port that is free.
Mm,
So
mm,
types of ports. We have TCP, we have the transmission control protocol port, which is tagged reliable connection oriented communication that are used for transmission control protocols are used for connection oriented communication. Okay. And services that use this kind of um, what's it called, that needs this kind of characteristics, we use TCP, which is transmission control protocol. And we have services like HTTP, HTTPS, file transfer protocol. We also have UDP, user datagram protocol ports. And these are the ports that the applications that use these ports are characterized by connectionless protocol. When you're writing your what's it, ISUPS, you're going to see questions on um, connection oriented ports and user datagram ports, which are connection. So the question might come like, okay, which um, which control protocols, which protocols use connectionless or less reliable communication for data
mm.
for whatever they're doing. So you already know that user
You
datagram,
did.
why the ones that
Mm.
are connection oriented are the transmission control.
Come in. Mm.
So Now, under the UDP, DNS uses UDP and streaming services. You know what DNS is? Domain, domain what?
Domain.
Name
Well,
system.
yes.
Name system. So they make use of this particular protocol, UDP, and also streaming services, where fact checking is not really the order of the day. Okay. But when you are getting something from the internet, like for example, you are looking for information, you're expected to have the correct ones, right? So those ones use HTTP, HTTPS, use TCP connect. So here again, we are also represented, or we are also met by number of ports. Ports are represented by the numbers ranging from what to what?
0 to 65 535.
Yeah, 555. That's the whole lot. 5.
Mm.
Then we say that well-known ports, that's ports from 0 to 1023, are reserved for system services. So just like the ones we listed here, the HTTP, the HTTPS, SSH, Telnet. So those ones are reserved, okay, for system services. Example, HTTP uses port 80, HTTPS uses port 443, SSH uses port 20. Now, we've seen well-known ports. There are few of them. Then the rest are called ephemeral ports. That's port 49,152 downwards, 65,500 are usually dynamically assigned to client-side connections. What are client-side connections?
Client side connection.
Yes.
Okay.
You know why I'm asking you?
No.
Because you're good with front end. Mostly, you do back ends, right?
Yeah, I do both front and back.
So we have server side
Yeah, we
and
have client side.
client side. So
Yeah,
server side and client side. Client side should be the one
front
facing
end.
with the individual user, right?
Yeah, that's front end.
Yes. The server side
It's
for
back end.
server backend. So ephemeral ports are usually dynamically assigned to client side connection. So we have any application that is running on the server side, the client side. For example, this the your recording application.
Mm.
Let's say Microsoft tools. Every application that is running on
The
our
client side.
own yes client side, they make use of all these dynamically assigned ports. Once they are
Mm.
done, they release it for other ones.
So I have a question there.
Okay.
So those ports that you mentioned now, these inferior ports, does it mean that they work offline?
Okay. Now, whether or not you are connected online, the ports are running.
Mm. All right.
Whether
All
or
right.
not you're connected. So down the class, we're going to make a port scan where you see some devices can show you the ports that are open and running, while some are closed, while some are filtered. The ones that are filtered with firewalls so that you will not know whether they are closed or they are open. Right? The ones
Mm.
that are not filtered can tell you, okay, I'm open, meaning I'm listening, waiting for a connection to happen. While some are closed, meaning you can't use them.
Okay.
You understand?
To connect to each service listing on a specific port and open ports can potentially become entry point for attackers.
Now you're understanding, right?
Mm.
Each service listings on specific ports
Mm.
and open ports can potentially become entry points for attackers.
Mm.
Now, key reasons for port scanning. Service enumeration. You see, now you're building a system and having cybersecurity knowledge. There are some salient knowledge that will awaken when you are building,
Mm,
because now you know that, okay, which ports is this my application going to be supposedly running in people's system? Then how can I secure it? You will have a second eye on security when building your systems. And that is why an additional knowledge on cybersecurity is always appreciated in almost every area of service, because it helps people to get more, how do I put it, makes them to be more awake or attuned to what is happening. So, for example, when you do not, um, what do they call this? When you do, when you tell people, or let's say you are in a company and you have staff, you threaten them about a possible threat. What do they call those? When you don't do training for your staff and give them the latest training, cybersecurity, you build the best of the systems only for that one staff to pick up a USB on the road or anywhere in the office and plug it into his system. And with that action alone, the whole system is compromised.
mm,
You understand? So, from the systems or applications down to the human beings, everybody must be trained on at least the basic cybersecurity knowledge on how to stay safe out there online. So, we have key reasons for port scanning. The first one is service enumeration. By scanning open ports, you can discover which services are running on a device. This is the first step for attackers to, or security testers to understand what they are dealing with. As a bug bounty hunter also, and you are trying to exploit particular system, okay, you need to know which ports are even open so that I can know how to get in.
mm,
You first, if you want to test for a particular vulnerability, you will know how to do a vulnerability test scanning, check which vulnerability is there or which one is open. Then you will now know how to build your payload on how to get into the system. So we say identifying vulnerabilities. Kindly read on.
Each service running on the ports may have known vulnerabilities. Scanning allows you to identify potential weak points in the system.
Yeah, go ahead.
For example, an open SSH port could lead to broad force
Brute
password
force.
attack.
Brute force attack,
Brute
password
force.
attack.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Attack surface management. If a device has too many open ports, it increases the potential way an attacker could exploit.
Go. You could
Okay,
go ahead.
your nothing is shown on the screen except a video.
Except the video. Which are the video?
I mean you, except you showing. There is nothing on the screen. And
Okay.
the PDF
Yeah, the
and
PDF, the entire screen. Let's
yeah.
see. Yeah. So you could see it now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So you have go ahead with the question you wanted to ask earlier.
All right. So I said, imagine a scenario where a company built an application and like you're giving that example, and one of the staff, whether through social engineering or one means or the other, right? The person, right, got attacked through her or for one way or the other, and I'm thinking, is there no is there no solution that everything that comes into the company, right, is routed through that means? So it's just like a funnel, right? When you put the funnel, you put a net, right? So the net sieve out dirt before the water goes down to the reserve bucket or whatever. So I'm thinking, is there not something like a kind of a net that sieve everything that comes into the company, right? Even if the staff, use something, whether it's a flash drive or something, as soon as you plug in that, whether it's your email, whether it's a whatever, there is this something that it goes through before it's finally lands, or probably you start doing all of that, and that is done within few seconds. The purpose is just to ensure that there is no anything that could actually cause potential attack on the whole system.
Okay, I get your question. See, the aspect of security in the network is something that is very, very, how do I put it? It has been very fragile. Let's say, for example, the whole network is being protected by a firewall. Okay, and this is the internet. So once the internet is connected, there is a firewall bridging outside threat, right? Now, each of these individuals or each of these systems are being manned by human beings.
Okay.
Cost wise, do you think it is wise to plant or you put it's not wise. I say, do you think it is cost effective to plant a what's they call it, firewall
Firewall.
in between each staff system? Let's say, for example, you have 50 staffs, or you have 200 staff, or you have 500, just to ensure that thorough routine is achieved. Because now you've done the needful by securing the entrance,
Okay.
and person A or person B accepts a virus inside the secured network.
Hmm.
Now, once A is contaminated, eh,
Hmm.
the next thing the attacker does is to do what we call lateral movement, move in to increase his capabilities and his hold on the system, and he
Hmm.
goes into system B.
Hmm.
Of course, inside system A, you will already know how many systems that are connected inside this network,
Of
just
course.
like
Of course.
we
Of
did
course. You know
last
how
time.
many hosts? Yeah.
Yes.
How many hosts?
So, and from entering system B, it goes into system C. Now, what
Hmm.
we are advocating is, why don't we have this check here that prevents it from moving from A to B?
Hmm.
So, would you advise to a firewall in between the 200, 50, 200, or 300 or 500 systems in your organization? Cost wise, application wise, service wise, do you think is feasible? If you think it's feasible, then it enhances your training also, possibly to pursue such a paperwork, to even push it out so that it is seen or heard by others. But don't you think it must have been um, evaluated before? On a physical note, what do you think?
Yeah. For me, I've been thinking about it even before I joined the cybersecurity, right? Because I remember in August, you know, I don't know if you remember, I dropped it on the first founder group. My server where I host my website was attacked. and I
Okay.
lost almost close to 5 to 7 million naira.
Hmm.
Right, because most of my client website applications are all built on that server. Right, I have a private server, so the person I'm doing white label, right? The I think the attacker attacked his own, and every all of us on
Yeah.
that same store were completely wiped out completely. So I thought about it that there's supposed to be a firewall that's is going to be in between. So if an attacker attacks Brian and
Hmm.
I'm connected to Brian, I should not be affected if I have something that is able to protect me, all right,
See,
from you,
now
all right.
you've gotten the
Just like
solution. Now you've gotten the
now.
solution.
So
Do you have? Did you implement a firewall around your? I think what you guys had there was this software as a service or platform as a service.
is
What
a
you bought
platform
from
as a
me.
service.
Yes. Let's assume that you were plugged into AWS. And AWS got attacked and everything got wiped. That you are
Mm,
tied or to AWS still does not protect you from
yeah.
protecting yourself. You should have a covering on your own platform. Now, where you might not have covering is since you've covered yourself from your own platform, then inside your platform, you assume that everything inside you is safe since
Mm-hmm.
you have
Mm-hmm.
covered the extreme, the exterior. I
Yes.
think if you
Mm-hmm.
had done that, if the headman or wherever you're connecting from gets attacked, on coming, they will hit a brick wall,
Mm,
which is supposed to be your own personal security. And
yeah.
that's giving you a kind of an umbrella, at least, if not your own data. You might lose connection with them. Yes, they've
Of
been
course, but your
infiltrated.
data will not be lost.
Exactly. So now that's what I'm saying. Why we're having this training and learning, it enhances our thinking, makes us look at many possible scenarios of things happening. Then, when you have an opportunity to advise a system or a company or a network, you from the bank of knowledge of whatever it is you have, can now advise right. Even if it is AWS, AWS still do not owe you 100% security.
Yeah, that's what the server provider to said. So
Yeah.
I thought about that and I came up with a solution because I know this kind of problem is what affects most small businesses
Yes.
and SMEs.
Yes.
All right, and
And they
because many
wipe
of them,
out. Sorry,
yes,
sorry. Study holds it that think 80 to 70% of small businesses that are being attacked, they go out of
yeah,
business.
now, yeah,
They
no,
go
even
out
I
of
did a lot of
business.
research and under even in US, even in
Yes.
Nigeria, they are completely out till today. They're not back. So, so I thought about and I came up with a solution that because small businesses they cannot afford to employ a cybersecurity analyst, right?
Mhm.
So I thought about that. If we can design an application, right, powered by AI, some of with other protection you have, right, within that block or within that service you are connected to, whether it's an API or whatever. So anyone that is connected, that subscribe to that, right, you are guaranteed that if any attack comes in from external, they're not going to meet a roadblock and they will not be able to get access to you.
Yeah,
So you don't need to worry about employing a cybersecurity analyst or cyber person. With that service, you are guaranteed that everything is protected.
exactly. What you have in mind is a feasible solution. Now, one of our sponsors for this program, um, CyberLogs, you could check them out on the what's it called, the internet. CyberLogs. They have this AI security. You know what it does? Are you there?
I'm with you.
Yeah. Now, form data, okay, when submitted, like when you're submitting forms or whatever.
Yes.
form data when it's submitted goes into the internet or system and possibly goes to the receiver. Now, CyberLogs AI does this to this form data. It encrypts the form data. When it passes through the internet and gets to the receiver decrypts it automatically. Now, the first pattern, once this form data is online, an attacker could intercept it and see whatever
Mm.
it is going on and mess
Capture
with
it.
it. But on the second instance,
It's encrypted.
it's encrypted. Even if you intercept it, you don't understand what
You,
it
you
is.
can't you can't decode it.
You can't decode it. And you'll be shocked. You'll be so shocked to find out that as Google, Google Chrome, every information going into Chrome, you could actually see that it's not encrypted. You'll be so shocked. I've
Yeah.
seen it. We've done
No,
the
of course.
example several times.
Of
When you
of
go
course.
through the developers extension, go to the payloads, you will see that the forms that are being sent out from the payloads are very, very open.
Mm.
But compared to CyberLogs, it is encrypted. So people are coming out with a substantial security measures. It's just that the internet got it wrong at first, and
Mm.
they are trying to what they are trying to now is rob Peter people, trying to panel beat security because
Mm.
even on the instance of the internet is porous from day one.
Yeah.
So what we are doing is playing catch, playing what do they call it? We are playing get to catch. They are trying to catch up with vulnerabilities, and those guys, the other side, they already know. For
Yeah.
example, now when you want to do a vulnerability test, almost 40% to 50% of information you need is available on Google. On just mere passively searching, you will get
Mm.
enough information to use to build your payloads or manipulate someone. You go online, you see their email addresses. Even if you don't see their email addresses, you will see something that will relate you to something that will make you to guess a particular email address that belongs to a particular company.
Mm.
Most of those backdoors. So by scanning open ports, you discover services that are running on it. This is the first step for attackers or security testers to understand what they are dealing with. Identifying vulnerabilities. Each service running on a port may have known vulnerabilities. Scanning allows you to identify potential weak points in the system. Your job is to find out these ports if they are useful and are needed to stay open. Then you secure them, protect them. Then the ones that are not needed to be open, you just close them up. And by closing or reducing these open ports, you are you're reducing your attack surface. Because if your
Yeah.
attack surface is more, then you are likely to be attacked and to go away with that. So, for example, an open SSH port could lead to brute force password attacks. Attack surface management. If a device has too many ports, what will happen?
It increases the potential way an attacker could
Exploit it. Limiting the number of open ports reduces the attack surface. You
attack
understand?
surface.
So when you reduce the number of open ports, you reduce your attack surface. Compliance and hardening. Organizations often need to ensure that only necessary ports are open as per compliance standards. Example, the PCI DSS. Scanning helps identify and close what? Unwanted
Unnecessary.
or risky ports. Yes. Now, what happens when you scan ports? When you scan a device for ports, open ports, using Nmap, you are probing that device to see which ports are open, closed, or what? Filtered.
Filtered.
Yes. Open ports, the services on that port is running and reachable. Example, if port 22 SSH is opening, a service like Secure Share SSH is available and you could potentially connect via an SSH client. And that reminds me, most of the routers are prone to attack. Most routers that we use in our country, I don't know about other countries, most of them come with default um, credentials. And most people, you'll be shocked that most people or most organizations, they don't change the default, what's it called, credentials.
Mm,
Admin user, password, admin. So those
mm,
open or stopped like that could also increase the likelihood of the company getting hacked.
mm.
So closed ports, no service is listening on that port. When you have a closed port result, it
Okay.
means that no service is listening on that port. The port is
But it's
visible,
visible, but nothing is
but
responding.
nothing is responding. Okay. Then we have the third state, which is the
Filter.
filtered port. The port is being
It's
blocked
been
by a
blocked
firewall
by or a security mechanism.
mechanism. Yeah, meaning you cannot tell whether
The
the
port
port
is
is
open.
open or closed.
It's invisible.
Yes, it is. It is filtered out to close it. So why you should scan ports? Scanning a port is useful for both attackers and defenders. As a defender, to discover weaknesses. Regular port scans help you identify potentially open and unnecessary ports that could be vulnerable. For example, a forgotten service running on port 21 FTP could expose sensitive data. There are some needs that might come up, and some ports are required to go open for that particular time. So forgetting to close them after usage can result to exposure. So that is why it's also good to scan ports regularly. Or for example, you the ports you know that's supposedly supposed to be closed, you now found it that it is open. Then you should know that something is going on. Okay, you didn't open this port, so who did? You understand?
Okay.
Yeah. So as a defender, to discover weaknesses, to prevent unauthorized access, to monitor changes, then as an attacker, to find entry points, also to fingerprint the system. Request for this, I think this material is already on your folder, on the group folder.
No.
So
No.
maybe after the class, you remind me. I'll push it to the folder so that it will be accessible in case you want to go through it
Yes.
the second time. So example of common ports and why they are interesting. There are some ports that are common and very interesting to have or to use. So we have the first one is what?
Two
Port,
two to
port 22.
SSH.
Port 22, which is running a service of SSH. SSH is secure shell. Why is it interesting? It could allow unauthorized remote access if weak passwords are being used. Port 80, we already know is what? Which service is running on port 80?
HTTP.
Yeah. Web servers can have vulnerabilities. Example, outdated web apps. 443 has a service of HTTPS.
HTTP.
You see the secure web traffic,
Web traffic.
but might have SSL and TLS vulnerabilities. Do you have any idea what SSL and TLS vulnerabilities are?
Yeah, it means maybe the certificate has expired,
Yeah,
or
or it can't
the
verify it.
domain. Yes, can't verify it. I usually have that issue sometimes too.
Okay,
When the certificate of a particular domain has expired or is not completely working.
yes. So, for example, Let's say someone is using a PHP, working on the PHP and or his Apache version is outdated or is
Yeah,
an of old version.
definitely.
Yes, I think I did when I was doing my bug bounty class. I was able to pull out a very big um, results on a system, a vulnerable system. You find out I got a whole information about the Apache and the server that is running on it. You see, I even got key, some keys. See, you can imagine how um, vulnerable a system would be when you could find keys running on the system. And these are session keys or session keys. Once you get session keys or tokens of a system or of an internet of or a network, there are so many things an attacker could do with those. So we have port
Mm.
21. These ports are literally some of the ports you should have off head or off hand.
Okay.
But
Okay.
during your exam, most of them will come out. Okay. So we have 22 SSL, 80
280
HTTP, 443 HTTPS, 21 FTP.
FTP.
I think 68, I don't know whether 68 is included. 68 should be DHCP, but after I'll check it out. So we have these are common ports and why they're interesting. So we have 21, which is FTP, which is file transfer protocol. Why is it interesting? Vulnerable to clear text password capture and outdated implementations. We have 3389 running service of RDP, remote desktop protocol, a frequent target for brute force attacks. We have 445 SMB. I think this has to do with external blue. Used in many network services, vulnerable to attacks like external blue. 3306 MySQL. Database service could expose sensitive data if what misconfigured. See, even misconfiguration leaves a system vulnerable.
Sure.
Kindly talk to that. What do you know about that? How does it happen?
Yeah, it's simple now. During development,
Yeah.
if a particular line of code, right, is not properly, checked,
Mm,
right, especially on the back end, usually on the back end,
okay.
right, it gives an open space for an attacker to come in.
Okay.
So, for instance, like what I shared with you, I did with Stormbreaker.
Yes.
If a developer installed or give an access that is open, that anytime you install the app, automatically your camera is on,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, but you as a user, you might not know, like what
Mm,
Stormbreaker is doing, whether you accept the camera or
or
not.
not.
The moment that thing is captured in your application, it start taking your picture and
Mm,
it's sending it to me directly.
mm.
It's sending it to me directly. So that kind of stuff, it gives an attacker open access to your data, because the moment I have access to all of those things,
Yeah.
I can use that. I will have access to your IP address. It gives me all your information.
Yes.
When I saw it yesterday, I was blown out.
There's many more things you need to see, and you are going to keep on. That's why the industry is very interesting and fun. Yeah.
Mm.
So we have 53, which is DNS domain name system, could be vulnerable to DNS spoofing or amplification attacks. Okay. How to use port scanning defensively to use them to enhance security. Run scans regularly to
Okay,
detect open ports that shouldn't be accessible. Then, next step, you close unnecessary ports by disabling services you are not using. So, you have use fireworks,
to block access
yes, to except for trusted IPs or networks.
networks.
Monitor for unexpected
Network.
changes
Mm.
in open ports as part of your security posture.
Mm.
So, once
So
in
these
a
are
while,
four main things that one must be doing often and often.
yes, once in a while, when you, especially when you are protecting a very sensitive network or system.
Mm.
Conclusion: ports are the gateways through which services communicate over a network. Scanning them allows you to identify which services are running, discover potential vulnerabilities, and reduce your attack surface by closing or securing exposed ports. In cybersecurity, port scanning is one of the most fundamental steps in network reconnaissance, penetrating testing, and also securing networks. Okay, so when you're reading the manual, you could go ahead to look at some of the port threats that I looked up, and some of them that I penned down. Let's try out our hands on something. You ready, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Um, you already know my address. Let's even find how many how many networks are connected to my system. So what should I use? What's the code to use to check for devices?
Check it.
By now, you should already have this on offhead. So nmap, then hyphen sn, dash sn. Then you run your IP address. Possibly, let's put 24 to it, and let's see how many devices are connected to network. Failed to resolve. What happened? No targets were specified. I think we have 167. What's my address? My address is not 167. Okay. 192.168.190.
Mm.
Okay. I think I made a mistake. 192.168.190. 168.190. I made a mistake. 192.168.190.167. That's
Slash
that.
24. And map.
Okay. So we have three hosts up. We have this is the Kali 192.168.191. Then one of these two might be the Windows host, and the other would be the gateway, which I told you what gateway usually is, right? Gateway is usually your router or whatever is giving you internet, whether your hotspot, that phone you're getting the hotspot from. So
Yes.
yeah, so that's what the gateway is. So one of them will be my Windows host machine, and the other will be the gateway. Gateway. So we are going to scan on this Kali to know how many ports are open, closed, or filtered. Then also on your take home, you're going to scan. You have a website, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you scan your website of ports that are open or closed or filtered. Okay, so first, let's do the basic scan for open ports of the network of the address. But before we do, let me restart the. I'm managing two things. Okay, so we have nmap. Nmap. We're still going to use nmap. Let's clear. No, let's not clear it so I can see my address. Nmap minus small x capital X, then the address 192 dot dot what dot 168. Are you there?
Yamichu dot 190.
90 dot 167. So this is the Kali. So we are going to run a port on it. Let's put the enter, and immediately it came out with npm nmap scan report. Host is up, not shown. We have 999 closed TCP ports,
Reports.
and the only port that is open is 8081 on, and is running a TCP. And the service that is running there is Black Ice Ice Cap. What the heck is Black Ice Ice Cap? What is this, man? What is this? Where is ChatGPT? Which service is this? Which service is this? Oh, I can't cross paste. What's it called? Data from remote. What's it called? From Kali to host. You understand, right?
No.
You've not tried cross pasting, like you copy something from Kali and you want to check it on your host machine. You've not done it before. Try it and see whether it will work.
It will not work because that's proxy is on.
It's not even the proxy. You are in a different
Mhm.
machine. It's just like copying on one computer. Then you think when you get to another computer, you paste it.
Okay, it won't work.
It won't work. So I have to use
Uh, I was doing it yesterday and I worked though. Because when I was having issue with Stormbreaker, I will copy it and I will paste it on my ChatGPT.
the ChatGPT. Is it on the Kali
No,
or on the host machine?
no, it's on the host machine.
Then probably the setting for cross pasting is turned on. I switch
Okay.
it off from mine. It's I don't want to increase some of my attack surfaces. You know, that's a
Okay.
very straight access from your Kali to your home.
Okay. Oh, now I get. Now I get.
Okay, so let's check this. What is
You have not taught us all of that though. We're just doing it using our head though.
what? I didn't get you. This service.
I say you have not taught us that one though. You're just using our head though.
Which one? Which one is that?
The way you just explain now.
That's why I told you it's good for live classes. Things come up and things have been explained. So enter.
God.
Let's see what ChatGPT has to do with has to say about this. Okay, he said the Black Ice service is associated with the Black Ice Defender, a personal firewall and intrusion detection software developed by Network Eyes Corporation and later acquired by IBM. Details about okay, I think this is a security feature that is running. You get that now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a security feature that is running. So I need not be afraid. So let's scan the windows. How do we know the Windows, what's it called, address?
It's my fit config now.
Okay, IF or IP. Yeah,
IP.
IP. Yeah. So it is 561. No, are you sure it's on the same network? What we have on the Kali is 167,
Yes.
192.168.190. Okay, yeah, this is it. So it's .211. Did it capture it on the Nmap scan? Yes, it got it. .211. So we're going to repeat the port scanning on .211.211, and let's see what we'll get. We have more results here on the Windows. Meanwhile, 997 is closed. Okay, then port 135 on TCP is open, running MSRP. This should be Microsoft stuff. Port 139 TCP is open, running NetBIOS. Port 445 TCP is open. Then okay, so let's run on the last one, which is my phone. Let's see, where is it? 227. 227. Meanwhile, what we are doing, this is just for the um, first 1,000.
Hmm.
If I run on the entire 65,535, I think we might be able to get even more ports that are open. What we are doing, this particular command is for the first 1,000.
Okay.
You understand? So the phone has only one port open, and which is one of the wrongest ports to open. Port 53 domain use of its DNS. So if someone hacks into this, it could actually redirect some of the domains of my phone. Where it's when once you for example, if I'm supposed to if I type google.com instead of going to google.com, it will take me to attacker.com. Meanwhile, what I typed is google.com. So I have a FTP TCP open running on the phone. So let's do one more. Let's do one more on the full 65,000. Then I think we're going to do two more scans before we call it a day. So we have Nmap, um, small x, capital S. Then we are going full now on the full total ports. Okay, so
Okay.
let's do on the Kali first. 192.168.190 dot what's the Kali this one 197 right? 167. Okay, 167. Are we ready?
Yes.
Enter. Okay, that was fast. 65,533 closed TCP ports. Only two. You see, now we got two that are open. The first one is on 8081, and the second one is on port 8834. And both are running. This one is running a Nexus. That means my Nexus port is open. Okay. Then the black eyes. Okay. So finally, let's do a run on my website. You would like to do that, right?
Yes.
MX2, MX2 boss, toolbox. MX2 bus is used for IPs. Um, how do they put it? What's that in English? IP address validation, etc., DNS lookups. Don't worry, when it opens now, you see mx2bus.com. So you could check out domain names or IP addresses from here. So the domain name is www dot better medic records.jms.com.ng. So what I want to do, I want to grab the IP address. You're with me, right?
I'm with you.
So you
Testing that
see,
as well.
we've gotten the IP address. So with this, what's it called, site, you could put in the plain domain name and get the IP address. You could do a lot of things: backlist, checkup, DNS lookup, test reverse lookup, who's lookup, DNS check. So there's a lot of things you could just do with addresses from here.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to copy these. We have 6722514. Supposed to copy you. Uh, Come here and paste selection. Paste. That's it, right?
Yes.
So, and we are doing a full-blown search. All the total 65,000 plus cost. Enter. How long do you think it's going to take to run that? Host pinned down. If it is really up but blocking our ping probes, try PM.
Yeah.
Let me even ping it. Are you sure it is up? Ping. Let's do 10 counts on the one nine. Sorry, 60 what? 67
7.25
two
225
225 dot
dot 140
Jesus, the ping is going. 10 packets transmitted, 2 received, 80 packet lost. Something must be wrong somewhere, but I'm going to check it out. So try this out on your own home network, your devices. If you have your own personal website, you try checking out the ports, and that would be a great one for today.
Okay, so just a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
Um, on the this I think where I'm missing out is because in our class we've not had this real time practical on the colleague and all of those set up. The last time some of them I'm not sure some of them have set up their own, so maybe that's the reason why
Okay.
we're having some of them. So what I did was I did all of that on my own, right? But in class we have not actually done that. So I'm seeing some things that I really want to ask just to make some correction.
Yes.
Like yours right now, you have root at Brian, right?
Yes.
So on my own end, I have my terminal. I have my own stuff is safe AI at root. So I was trying to make account the root because there was time I was trying to install something and he said I need the root access.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to change the root access to my own account.
Mm-hmm.
So but what I'm seeing with you right now, I'm seeing your own as root at, but my own is my username at Kalik.
Okay. Now, there are two of the command lines here. One is the PowerShell, and the other one is the normal one.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see Brian at Cali. Are you seeing?
Yes.
And you said yours is your name at Cali, right?
Yes.
Which means um, you're not using the root access. And it means
So
that for every command you run, you will have to put
to
sudo.
put sudo.
And it's not fun, right?
It's not fun now. That was so that time I was trying to do that, but I just did that on my own, and I said when we get to class, but we've not had this practical class to be able to.
Okay. Normally, when I tell people to set up their Kali, they set it up, and when we come to class, as I'm working on my own now, you pointed out something you wanted to see. You see, most times I like giving people um, opportunities for them to see what they need and they ask the questions.
Okay.
Since this is practical, you see what is not working on your own that is working on your tutors or teachers. Call him up, please, sir. Why is this happening this way? And why is my own not responding? Then we'll pause whatever we are doing and deal with that, just like we are doing now. So, whenever you want to access, you want to do your command prompt, I will advise you use the root.
Okay.
You could find it when you click up here, right? These are two options.
Yes.
When
Yeah,
you
I'm
use
seeing
the
that
root,
route there.
yes,
So the route I have there is the route I have there is just a minute.
it will ask you for your password before it will give you access to
Yeah,
the.
that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
So the route I have there is route at Kalik.
good. You saved your name with Kali, your machine name with Kali. Me, I saved my own machine name with Brian K.
No, I don't know, but what I have on my ear is showing route at Kali.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. When you were installing Kali,
Okay, okay,
the username of the Kali is Kali on default.
okay. I didn't change it, right?
Yeah, I just changed when I was installing, I changed my own from Kali to Brian K.
Okay,
You understand? So this has no impact on the whole machine. It's just the
all right.
name. Yeah.
Okay,
Meanwhile, that's why you're seeing on the normal prompt without the root, you see your name at Kali.
Yes.
Your name at Kali, whatever you put
Yes.
is saved there.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is important is which access are you working with? Are you working with the visitors or admin right, the root right? So like I
It's
said,
visitors. It's the visitors I'm working with, so I need to have access to the root.
so when you open this root one, or click it
Okay.
open and put in the password, then you will get the root access to work, do your commands on the root access.
Okay.
And of
So
course, it will change to red.
is in red now. Is in
Good.
red.
Now, any command you run, it will not ask you for sudo again.
So when I'm working, I should use the root most
Yes,
time, right?
yes, yes. Or if you prefer doing sudo, you could use the normal one.
Okay. So another clarity I want to have is that how can I change that name from that root?
Root. Can you actually change the name root? Root should be a specific or reserved name for to let you know that you are using like an admin right.
Okay.
So what you can
But
change,
your own here, your own does not have roots.
which is it this side
Yes,
on the normal command? What do you have here?
is my username.
Yes, now
Same.
that this too is my username.
Okay. I didn't see your roots. Where's your roots?
My root is on the second. Are you even seeing my whole screen?
I'm okay on one side. Okay, I've seen your other. I've seen the root now.
Are you seeing both of them?
Yeah, I'm seeing the both of them now. I
Good.
was seeing the other side before.
Oh, okay. So good.
So I've seen root at. Okay, now I get. Okay, it's because I didn't change that calic. Okay,
Yes,
that's why I'm having. Okay, that's where the confusion is.
yes.
It's clear now. So how can I change that calic?
You have to uninstall your Kali and start from beginning.
No way.
But I think Windows, you could change your name on Windows admin stuff without uninstalling your Windows. I think the same thing also applies on Kali. Just ask question around online. Probably it might be able to answer.
We would do that moving forward. So
Yeah,
the second, so long the system is protected, no
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
So the second thing I want to ask is that all these commands that you use, um, is do you have a list of those commands in the PDF as well, so that like this nmap hyphen s, and what they mean, so that we can use that to practice.
I think some of them are here. Some.
Yeah, some of them, but it doesn't explain what they are used for. Because I saw that I used that for nmap 24 to check for the port. So, but
So
like
you
the one
should
you use this
ask
evening.
questions is what does SN mean in this command?
Mm,
What does mmap even mean? What does xn mean? So when you grab this command that we use on Kali, for example, this one we use. Let's take for example ping ICD. What I do is I copy this command, take it to ChatGPT, tell it to break it down. That's the easiest way you could learn it and it get it faster. It
all
will
right.
break down what ping does, what minus C does, then what this serves for. So you
Mm,
tell it that ping is a command used to find out whether a system is online. Then C should be the number of counts you want it to count. It's supposed to count 10 times as you want to count. But remember, what you are trying to do is to know whether the system is alive, is
yeah.
responding. So putting 200 or 500. Once the number of packets sent is equal to the number of packets received, then that system is online and healthy. But
All right.
once it loses some, then something is wrong somewhere, meaning
Mm,
that is not the handshake is not complete. You see, we sent 10 packets transmitted, two received, 80% packet loss, meaning that eight was lost. You see,
mm,
now if we repeat the same for google.com, www.google.com, google.com. Now, watch. Are you seeing
yes.
10 packets received? How many? 10 transmitted. How many received?
10.
How many lost?
Zero.
Good. And what it did is it actually changed the www.google.com, then brought out the IP
IP
address,
address.
then used the IP address to transmit. So is
So one can actually check anyone's websites.
yes, you can actually check any website to know whether is up and running. It's actually this ping is a system security tool where when someone tells you like, my website is not working, you can actually check from backend to know whether the person is saying the truth or not.
Okay.
If it's working from the back end here, from this, then you know that whatever is happening to the person is front end.
Then okay.
And now let me shock you. You see, this few minutes we've had to share about this and what they call it. This is the first time Elena is asking me.
Wow.
Most people don't care. Most people don't ask. And
Wow.
once you don't ask, or once you are not inquisitive to know, or once you don't have problem, there will be no solution.
Of course.
So it's
No,
just
what has really helped me is my knowledge. Most time why I don't ask is because some of the things you are teaching, I already have a knowledge of them.
yes, good.
So except like tonight when you did something different that I needed to like, it was not difficult for me to set up the Kali,
Yes,
some of those things I've been doing, I've been checking on my own. Even the one you have not taught us, the proxy you have not taught
yes,
us. I've gone to done the proxy. So I'm just waiting for the day we're going to have that
yes. And it will be
SQL.
an added. It will be faster
Yeah,
for you to understand.
SQL injection,
Yes,
so I can understand very well. I saw the way he did it on that video on YouTube,
yeah.
and I followed it. So I'm just waiting for the day we're going to have that SQL injection to be
And it
able
will
to
be
understand
faster for
better.
you to work with.
Yeah, and I have a question around that, but I just want to wait till
Okay,
that. So most time, just like tonight now. So I have one more question on that MX2 box.
okay, yes.
MS2 box. So I put in my own domain right now. I don't know, maybe I got something wrong.
Mhm.
So let me show you the video if I can.
Yeah, share. Let's see. Let me stop sharing. Stop presenting. Yes, share. I like this background.
Why is the background? The background leave the place now.
Your background is snowing.
It's not even the background I even want to show safe. Coming.
So you see, for the other mates that are not in the class, there might have been some other things they might personally wanted to ask as a question,
Mm,
which if they were live at class, they would ask. But when you're watching recorded video, you're only watching what is being served you.
has been said.
Yeah. Secondly, is they still have what's it called? The alternative of coming to the group to ask the question. That's another
That's
thing.
true. So what was the link to this class?
Your
It's
background
just
is blocking whatever it is you're sharing.
that's what I'm trying to even remove the background. So I can't even see where the background is.
I think it stays there automatically till the call ends because you gave it that permission.
Ah, no doubt.
So
Okay,
vocally tell me what you're trying to fix, then maybe you will send a screenshot on the group.
okay. So what I mean is that on my own two stuff here,
Stop sharing.
I'm not even sharing anything.
Okay. You're sharing your screen because I'm okay. You're not sharing your screen.
I'm not
Yeah.
sharing.
So now this is MX2 box. Okay. When you load it, when you get it from Google, then
So maybe just go back and put your email address. I will get it from there.
watch first so that you will see.
That's what I'm
This is
saying.
this is the home page of MX2 box, right?
Okay.
Now watch the address mx2boss.com slash super2.axps blah blah blah. Now there is a selection
Mm-hmm.
point here.
Okay.
Are you seeing?
Yeah, yeah.
So what I clicked was DNS lookup,
Okay.
and let's put google.com, www.google.com, www.google.com. Then DNS lookup should give us the DNS of google.com and also give us the IP addresses.
Okay.
See how it works? Now, also, you can also do reverse lookup. Let's see, reverse lookup works with the um, IP address. You change the IP address into the name, the domain name. Let's see. So we do reverse lookup here, and it gives us domain name. See the domain name it gave us, but it's still part of Google's stuff. So I believe when you follow this, you could be able to resolve whatever.
Yeah, I did that, but my own is not showing the IP address. It's just showing the type, domain name, the chronological name,
Are you
and the
using DNS
TTL.
lookup?
Yeah, DNS lookup.
Try DNS check then.
DNS check.
Yes.
DNS.
Um, we are ending the class in the next 3 minutes.
Okay.
We already did 12.
All right. That works.
It worked.
Yes, that one is even showing the name server.
Okay, then let me give you an extra bonus. Um, what's the name? 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 Virus total. Virus total. Okay, are you seeing?
Yes.
Virus total is used to checkmate files, IP addresses to know whether they are legit or not, to know whether they've had a count of fishiness or whatever. Understand? So, um, do I have any bad IP address I would want to check? Where will I get a bad IP address? Hmm. Anyway, just have it in mind. Next class, we'll use it to checkmate a bad IP address. So you could check a file, you could check an URL, you could just search, do a random search on IP addresses. You get me, right? I think he's gone. Okay. With that, we come to the end of today's class. It's really a long one. So thank you very much, guys. See you in the group. See you in the class. Have a nice evening.